Well, it's something most people never heard of, but muscle activation technique has grown into a mind-blowing business for Chris Verselli. In just 5 years, you'll never believe how much he's increased his income.
Chris Verselli of Sarasota, Florida, is in a line of work some people have never heard of. Muscle activation technique seeks to strengthen and restore function to weak muscles.
The muscle activation techniques process was such a key element to that because most people are dealing with things in their orthopedic system, in their musculoskeletal system.
Chris's passion for good health began when he battled leukemia at age 15. He recovered fully, and in his mid-20s he accepted Christ and felt called to bring healing to others. Starting out, Chris realized he needed guidance on how to grow his business.
I was seeking the Lord about how I could achieve the next level of blessing and expansion that He had for me. And that's when He really began to speak to me about giving. And that if I wanted to have a lot of resources under my control, then I needed to keep an open hand and I needed to be willing to release those things if and when He told me to release them.
One Sunday, Chris saw the opportunity to do just that. He was in church listening to missionaries to Africa.
And the Lord just gripped my heart that day and He said, you need to give, and you need to give extravagantly.
Chris felt led to give $2,000, which was most of his savings.
And so I was really wrestling with Him, during that hour in church that day. But He gave me this peace that if I trusted Him, He would do something awesome. And so I gave that check.
Within a few days, Chris got a new client who had seen an article about him in the paper.
She got up off the table and she said she felt amazing. And this was a woman that had fibromyalgia. She immediately bought my biggest session of packages that day. It was $1,200.
That one appointment led to many referrals, which led to many more clients. He was even contacted by professional athletes.
So I got 15, maybe 20 clients in a month. I had the most profitable month I'd ever had, and it was just mind-blowing what the Lord did.
It also led Chris to become a regular tither. Within 5 years, he saw his income rise by more than 75%. Then he and his wife were introduced to CBN's Superbook. The animated Bible stories were perfect for their then 5-year-old son.
And Christian fell in love with them. My son absolutely loves Superbook, and he actually looked in there that they'll bring back to the present day and apply it to the situation that they had set up in the beginning. I think that's a really cool way to present these stories of the Bible.
So to support Superbook, Chris joined the 700 Club. And as he started watching, he came to love CBN's other ministries.
Just the presence that they have, what you guys are doing all over the world. You talk about being in awe of what the Lord has done. And I love the fact that I can go on cbnnews.com and I can get an article that is really encouraging and really edifying, and I can share that with other believers. And then the testimonies, are really great because they build people's faith in the Lord. Also, the movie that they made in 2017 about the Six-Day War was phenomenal. Oh man, the Lord really spoke to me through that movie.
Chris is a firm believer in committing all one's resources to God.
We all have to come to the realization that God is the giver of all money, all talent, all energy, all breath, and the Holy Spirit will speak to each person who prays that prayer sincerely and will tell them, this is what I want you to do. And if we obey that, good things happen.